Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome to today's episode of Morning Wealth. Do hit the like or subscribe button, leave a comment on YouTube or leave a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. All of these will help in reaching out to more people. Thanks for your support. Let's start. We'll talk about three things. Apple is borrowing, Huawei is locked out of India, and US retail sales, what to expect. Wall Street closed mixed on Thursday, with the tech sector eking out a modest gain. The coronavirus resurgence fears abate, but policy uncertainty continues. On the macro side, initial jobless claims in the US decreased to 963,000, below an estimate of 1.1 million, and dropping below 1 million for the first time since March. The Dow Jones shed 0.3%, S&P was down 0.2%. In contrast, the Nasdaq was higher by 0.3%. The yield on the US 10-year Treasury note ticked up for the fifth straight session to 0.7140 on Thursday from 0.66 a day earlier, amid weak demand in a 26 billion auction that happened for the 30-year bonds. So what happens is, if the auction is weak, the yields have to be pushed up higher to make the offering more attractive. In commodities, gold rose 1.1% to 1956 a troy ounce as the volatility seen in the recent days continued. This week's stint of choppy trading paused a month-long rally that took the precious metal to an unprecedented high. US crude oil prices fell by 1%. The International Energy Agency on Thursday projected a deeper rout in oil demand for 2020 than previously forecast because of the high coronavirus cases in several major economies. Dollar weakened and Asian equity indices are poised to drop. Among individual stocks, shares of Cisco tumbled about 11%, their worst one-day drop since 2011 after the networking equipment company gave earnings guidance for the current quarter that was below analyst expectations. Its chief financial officer, Kelly Kramer, also stepped down. The standoff between lawmakers on fresh stimulus package showed no signs of easing on Thursday, and negotiations may be stalled until next month. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that the two sides remain miles apart and the Democrats would only resume talks if Republicans agreed to spend significantly more than the $1 trillion that they are proposing right now. In terms of earnings, we got Applied Materials, which gave bullish forecasts on increasing orders from chip makers. Fourth quarter revenue will be about 4.6 billion. Adjusted EPS would be 1.11 to 1.23, which was both more than estimated. Baidu's quarterly revenue was also slightly above consensus. It did say that the business is rebounding. Tata Steel posted a third straight quarter of losses as lockdowns slammed demand and output. Apple jumped on the big tech borrowing bandwagon, tapping on the investment grade market for about 5.5 billion. We saw Alphabet do it a week earlier for about 10 billion, if I'm not wrong. The longest maturity bond, 40 years, will yield about 118 basis points above treasuries. It's also readying a series of bundles that will let customers subscribe for different tiers of the digital services, seeking to offer packages at lower prices than each could cost individually. Dubbed as Apple One, it's a major bid to achieve the same loyalty Amazon has with Prime. Huawei is locked out of yet another market. India barred it and ZTE from trials for the planned rollout of 5G networks as tensions with China simmer. New Delhi will apply investment rules that cite national security concerns with border countries. The country will restart discussions with service providers about the tests which are halted by the pandemic. On the FX side, for Greenback, Friday's retail sales and Michigan's consumer sentiment index are the most important economic reports on this week's calendar. Investors have been looking forward to two things since Monday: progress on stimulus talks, which has not happened, and an update on the recovery. So we got initial jobless claims yesterday, but these are the two main reports that we will be looking forward to. So retail sales are expected to grow at a slower pace in the month of July, as economists forecast spending to rise by about 2%, down from the 7.5% in June. Excluding autos and gas, demand should be even softer. However, with average hourly earnings growth turning positive, Redbook reporting an uptick in spending and gas prices stabilizing last month, there is scope for a data to beat. Today will also be a big day for China as the country prepares to release its latest industrial output and also retail sales figure. Further improvements are expected for the world's second largest economy. Good numbers should help the Australian dollar, which sold off despite strong labour market numbers. Meanwhile, lastly, the New Zealand dollar fell sharply on the back of dovish comments from Reserve Bank. Earlier this week, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand increased asset purchases and also suggested that more stimulus, including the possibility of negative rates, is on the table, and they can consider it to support the recovery. That's the update. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and I'll speak to you on Monday.